monde, on est tous attristés par la nouvelle que Honda va annuler un investissement de 15 milliards de dollars, ce qui va engendrer les pertes d'emplois. Ça continue avec les pertes d'emplois dans le secteur depuis l'arrivée au pouvoir des libéraux. La production est tombée de 50 %, la plupart avant même la mise en œuvre des tarifs et sous le leadership du ministre de l'Industrie libéral, François-Philippe Champagne. Monsieur Carney, on peut tous être contre les tarifs de M. Trump, il n'y a pas de question là-dessus, mais M. Carney n'a aucun plan réaliste. Il a une illusion qu'on va dépenser des dizaines de milliards de dollars pour subventionner des véhicules électriques que nous ne produisons pas pour des marchés dans lesquels on ne vend pas et avec des voitures que les gens ne veulent pas avoir. On vend maintenant 8 fois plus de véhicules aux États-Unis qu'au reste du monde ensemble. Assez des illusions, on a besoin d'un vrai plan pour sauver notre industrie automobile, c'est-à-dire une PAC auto avec les Américains, comme on avait dans les années 60, pour éliminer les tarifs et obliger les producteurs d'automobiles de produire une automobile pour chacun qu'ils vendent. Deuxièmement, éliminer le TPS sur les voitures produites ici au Canada. Et troisièmement, éliminer les subventions libérales pour les véhicules électriques qui favorisent la production étrangère. C'est un vrai plan pour sauver l'industrie. Maintenant, il faut que ça bouge. M. Carney a promis un deal avec les Américains en juillet, mais encore, il n'y a pas de deal, il y a juste plus de tarifs. Ils perdent. C'est le temps que ça bouge. On a le plan conservateur pour le faire, pour sauver notre secteur d'automobile avec un plan sans tarifs, sans taxes sur les voitures canadiennes et sans subvention pour les voitures étrangères. Thank you very much, everyone, for being here. Obviously, we're all terribly saddened by the news of Honda's cancellation of $15 billion of automotive production in Ontario. This follows on the collapse of auto production under this Liberal government. It has fallen by 50% since the Liberals took office. Most of that collapse happened before the tariffs even took place, but under the leadership of then Liberal Industry Minister François-Philippe Champagne. What we're seeing from Mark Carney is not a plan, but an illusion. He claims that we're going to replace 83% of our automotive sales to the U.S. by making electric vehicles that people don't want to buy, that we don't make, and selling them into markets where we don't sell and where they're already being purchased from elsewhere at half the price. To call it an illusion would be generous. It's more like a Liberal hallucination. What we need is a real plan. Mark Carney, by the way, has had a year. He said he was going to save automotive jobs. He said he would have a deal a year ago, and in that time, what has he done? He's delivered even more job losses, even higher costs, and even more taxes. So we have a real plan. Conservative plan is to bring back the auto pact, a zero-tariff auto pact that requires makers make one car in Canada for every car they sell in Canada, and to offer for the Americans to have the same. That would bring production back to both of our countries, extremely attractive for both, and that's why we believe the Americans would sign on. Let's get rid of the GST for all Canadian-made automobiles, and let's end the $2.3 billion Liberal subsidy for foreign-made electric vehicles. Why are we using Canadian tax dollars to incentivize consumers to buy vehicles we don't even make in Canada, thus shipping our jobs and money abroad? Bring that money home. We have a real plan. It's time for action, and that's what Conservatives are pushing. Any questions?
Mr. Poilievre, today the Privacy Commissioner found that OpenAI didn't follow Canadian privacy laws when it trained ChatGPT. Any comment on that?
Yes, these tech giants need to follow our laws and respect the privacy of the Canadian people so that our citizens can be assured that when they use these tools that they will not face breaches to their private information.
Should Canada be looking at its privacy legislation to adapt it to this new age with AI?
Sure. I think we have to always look at privacy laws to make sure they're matched with the times. Excellent. Wow, what a group over here. All right, no more questions? All right, thanks, everyone.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Raquel Dancho. I'm the Member of Parliament for Kildonan and St. Paul in Manitoba. I'm joined by many of my Conservative colleagues behind me and Britt Moberg, who I will introduce formally shortly. Today, my Bill C-263, an act to establish a national framework for silver alerts, will be debated at second reading in the House of Commons. The bill addresses a growing public safety challenge in Canada, the disappearance of vulnerable seniors living with dementia and other cognitive impairments. And I'm honoured again to be joined today by Britt Moberg, whose father, Earl Moberg, inspired my bill. In December of 2023, Earl Moberg disappeared from his home in Winnipeg during the winter after living with advanced dementia. And unfortunately, he was never found and is presumed deceased. Mr. Moberg was a husband, father, grandfather, teacher, veteran, and longtime member of our community. And like so many Canadian families confronting dementia, the Moberg family experienced the heartbreaking reality of watching someone they slowly loved slowly disappear and ultimately physically disappear as well. And this issue, we know, is becoming much more urgent in Canada. By 2030, nearly 1 million Canadians are expected to be living with dementia. And Public Safety Canada states that if a person living with Alzheimer's disease is not found within 12 hours, there is a 50% chance that they will be found injured or deceased from hypothermia, dehydration, or drowning. So these are very uniquely time-sensitive issues. Every minute matters, every moment matters, and yet today, whether the public is rapidly notified often depends entirely on your geography. Some provinces have pilot projects in silver alerts, some have legislation on paper that has not yet been actioned, some have limited alert systems, and others have nothing operational at all. Meanwhile, Canada already possesses the technical infrastructure capable of delivering rapid geo-targeted alerts directly to mobile phones, televisions, and radios through the National Public Alerting System, the very same infrastructure already used today for Amber Alerts and emergency weather notifications and other emergency notifications. So the challenge is not technological capability, the challenge is coordination, standards, and consistent implementation across the country. And that is why this legislation was intentionally drafted as a framework bill. It aims to respect provincial jurisdiction over policing and emergency management while asking the federal government to provide national coordinated leadership. The bill would require collaboration with provinces, territories, police, emergency management organizations, caregivers, and medical experts to establish national standards around thresholds for issuing alerts, privacy protections, geo-targeting, interprovincial coordination, and safeguards to reduce alert fatigue. And I want to emphasize something that's quite important. This bill is not proposing that every missing senior, although very tragic, that not every missing senior triggers an intrusive alert. This is about a proportionate, targeted alert for very high-risk, medically vulnerable individuals in a time-sensitive situation. Because right now across Canada, we continue to see tragic cases involving seniors with dementia wandering from homes, hospitals, care facilities, and in our own neighbourhoods, sometimes found deceased days later after people unknowingly passed them by without realizing that they were in danger. And to be clear, this bill is not a political bill. It is not a partisan bill. This is not a left versus right issue. This is very much a human issue. And at its core, the legislation asks a very simple question. If Canada already possesses the technology capable of notifying nearby Canadians immediately when a vulnerable senior disappears, should we be using it more effectively to help save lives? And the Conservative caucus very much believes the answer is yes. And I'll just hand it over. Do you feel comfortable saying a few words?
Sure.
Go right ahead. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Britt Moberg. My father was Earl Moberg, and he went missing on December 12th, 2023, and he's never been found. He had advanced dementia. And in our family's experience, unfortunately, we weren't able to reach the public quickly enough in order to find my father alive. And it's very important to reach the public quickly because those are the people most likely to find the person who's missing. And in our experience, that didn't happen, and really hope that this will help to address the gap between having somebody in the community. My dad was walking in the community. People would have seen him, but they likely didn't recognize that he was a missing person. And so it takes time, and in our experience, it could be weeks, months, and even recently, where we found that there are people living in the area where my dad went missing who had no idea that he was a missing person. And so we're trying to address the gap between seeing somebody in public and actually recognizing them as a missing person. And I hope that this bill helps to address this so that we can help to save other people's lives. And it's unfortunately too late for my family, but we hope that there could be countless other families out there who could benefit from this bill. And I'm very thankful for Raquel Dancho and the team and everyone here standing with us today who are supporting this and showing that people with dementia matter and that are loved and cared for and part of our community, and that are very deserving to have improved systems across the country to help bring them home when they go missing. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Happy to take any questions about the bill. Thank you very much. Great. Appreciate your time. Thank you very much. Great job.
Thank you.
Should AI be regulated? Should there be safeguards or guidelines or guardrails for AI?
Yeah, absolutely. There should be some kind of guardrails or safety provisions. Yep.
Is there a specific part of that you'd like to see? We're just taking the temperature because the Privacy Commissioner put out a report.
Yeah, well, we're just in the middle of AI study and the industry committee right now, and we're looking forward to the testimony that's going to come there and get some feedback from the industry and see what they say. But most of them are asking for regulation so they know where the goalposts are.
Appreciate that. I'm going to ask you, should AI be regulated? What do you think?
What area?
Well, just overall usage, how it's applied. You know, there are many, it's so wide open that, you know, we're taking the temperature.
Well, I try not to talk about things unless I know a lot about them, but unless you can say these are the areas we think there needs to be. I know in my province of British Columbia, the province is looking into some of this, and so I'm looking forward to hearing how that would work and how that would work with what could happen in Parliament. As a parent, I'm always concerned about these things, but again, we have to be specific and we have to understand what it is we're regulating before we decide to regulate it.
Today, the Privacy Commissioner said that